Welcome to Turks and Caicos.
Massive, that's what we ate last night.
What the are we doing? You may have noticed that the last couple of videos have come to you from our kitchen table in Florida, and that's because, well, we ran out of money on the world trip, so we've been doing more packing reviews, but that doesn't mean we're done traveling.
This is our first country in the Caribbean and we're so excited to be here. This hotel room is absolutely stunning. We basically have a 1-bedroom cottage all to ourselves, and the reason that we were able to do this and able to afford it is because we leveraged Hyatt points to stay here. Now, Hyatt sometime last year announced that they were separating from the small luxury hotels of the world, and that gave us one opportunity to pick one hotel that we wanted to go to in the Caribbean, which brought us to Turks and Caicos, a playground for the rich and famous, of which we are neither. But we are definitely going to vlog our experience here and take you guys along for the ride. So welcome to Turks and Caicos. Good morning, everyone, from Turks and Caicos day 2. Yesterday we came here, we went to walk around the resort a little bit, take a look, hopefully to get some B-roll footage and just to show you guys how beautiful this place is. Unfortunately, what happens is when you take a very cold lens from a room that is air conditioned outside to a very hot, humid environment, the lens fogs up for a long time. So we didn't really get any footage. We enjoyed a free happy hour though and talked to the hotel staff who were incredible. Really can't say enough how great this place is and how kind the people are. But it is day 2 and we've got something super fun planned today, and we're gonna switch to the GoPro for this because this camera would not survive the journey. We are on the way to our rental car for our next destination, which Bree knows nothing about. This was a total surprise. So we picked up a rental car. I read a lot of things about whether or not you should grab one, and we just decided to because, for example, for today's excursion, you need one to get there. And this is our beauty for 200 bucks. Wrong side. It's a British island, so everything's on the opposite side. So this is step 1, a ship with no crew. It's a 2-person catamaran. It's basically 2 buoys with an engine, and the water is phenomenal.
And you self-steer.
And you self-steer. Left is this way, left is this way.
And this thing's hard to ship.
Well, we're approaching our first stop, and the water is phenomenally clear.
So our first stop is Iguana Island Nature Preserve, home to hundreds of iguanas, and they're just running around the island. We got tourists here feeding them grapes, which I don't actually think you're supposed to do, but you see them really big, really small. We'll try to capture them on film, but they're pretty fast. Hi, buddy. Okay, no, that's okay. You can stay there.
So the other part of our first stop is we're walking over to Grace Moon Bay, which is supposed to be one of the most beautiful beaches in Turks and Caicos. So one of the reasons I really wanted to do this tour is because it seemed pretty hands-off. You drive your own boat and then they just kind of like take you to various places and you do your own thing, which is always really cool. They can take groups of, 3 catamarans out, but we were lucky enough to have it all to ourselves today. And when I asked him about whether or not we were going to be private, because it sounded like it was private when I booked it, he was like, oh yeah, no, private groups are $100 extra. And I was like, no, it's a Tuesday and it's shoulder season, so I think we'll probably be fine. And turns out we were all alone.
We've officially left the most beautiful beach we've ever seen. Jeff is now in the driver's seat and we're headed to lunch.
So the place that we're going, Bree doesn't know. So maybe I'll wait till we get there, but it's like a playground for the rich and famous. So maybe we'll spot our first famous person in Turks.
Apparently there are a lot here. Our tour company just mentioned that they had the Kardashians, NFL players, Drake is here a lot.
Meek Mill, French Montana.
We thought we saw French Montana on the beach down there, but we're actually not sure what he looks like, we realized. We just left Noah's Ark, which was a fun little experience. They say that on Sundays it gets insanely busy with celebrities, hundreds of people, which is crazy to think about because it's basically just like this raft in the middle of the ocean. But the food was pretty good. We got a burger. It's included with the tour. And the bathroom was terrible. I did not want to film it. It was that bad. And now we're headed to destination number 3, which I guessed was a shipwreck. And I was right. So, unfortunate news. The wind has really picked up here and the waves have gotten a lot bigger, so we can't go out to the shipwreck because it's about an hour there and an hour back. Maybe next time.
So we're on our way into town to go grab some dinner. The prices at beachfront properties like our resort are astronomically high. This is an island that is something to remember. It is very, very expensive to eat or drink anything here. So we're going to town hoping to find a bit of a cheaper meal, and it's only like a 7-minute walk from our place, 750 meters, and it's such a cute little downtown area. Why would you not want to come here to explore anyway? So we'll see what we can find. This is actually a very reasonably priced restaurant. It's incredible, actually, very refreshing. So we did a bunch of research before coming here, and the average price for 2 people at a restaurant around here, given the exorbitant prices already, is about $100 to $200 US, and that's, you know, entrees and maybe 1 round of drinks, if that. We got an appetizer, 2 entrees, and 2 drinks, and we paid $124, and that was before tip.
And they also add a service charge, usually of, I think, 10%.
Yep.
So you can just tip additionally on top if you want.
Good morning from day 3 in the Turks and Caicos. Today it's actually looking a little dreary, so we're gonna pop down to the beach and see how the weather's looking because we were gonna go snorkeling at a very local spot. The goal here is to continue to not spend money, which I'm not sure if Jeff mentioned previously, but our breakfast is included. So far up to this point, the only thing we've actually spent money on is our 2 dinners here.
My God.
Crazy. Massive. That's what we ate last night. Sorry. In just a matter of a few seconds, it is an absolute tsunami out here. I don't know if you can see how dark it is. There's a ship behind me that has its lights on. It is so dark. And there's water just coming down by the boatload. Pun intended. The storm won. As you can tell, I'm back at the hotel room, but it's just dumping. Just the amount of water coming down is insane right now. It's fun though.
So we've decided to make the most of the very rainy weather, and it's absolutely pouring right now. We are the only people from our hotel actually sitting on the beach right now. Walking down here, we said, what the fuck are we doing? But we're making the most of it.
So glad none of these like getting the camera set shots make it to film. But the sun has come out, just like Annie said in that Broadway musical or whatever. Bree thinks I'm drunk. I'm slightly drunk. It is our 9-year anniversary, which is crazy, but it's never been easier. So we're gonna go celebrate and go get some dinner. One of the nicer restaurants at this place, which is called Grace Cottage. And as you can tell, Bree and I look like we're matching, and that is because we are. This fit is sponsored by Quince or Quincy. I'm actually not quite sure how to pronounce it, but they're fantastic 100% linen clothing, which has been great for us because it has been so hot and humid here, especially with all the rain. And know that you too can buy this too if you go to quince.com, and I'll include a link in the description below. I really actually love their clothing. I would never endorse something that I didn't personally use and actually really like. So go check them out. They're an awesome company, but we are out. We're gonna go enjoy our anniversary dinner, and we'll see you later. All right, welcome to day 3, and this is basically our last full day here in Turks. I know we're not doing anything cool, and I actually don't think you're supposed to call it Turks, so they don't like it when you call it Turks. Turks and Caicos, but it is dumping outside for the second full day in a row, and it shows no signs of stopping. So we were hoping to do some cool stuff today, like maybe go snorkel the reef, but it doesn't look like that's in the cards today, just because there's no point being on the water when it's lightning out. So we're just kind of sitting here hanging out, making the best of it, hoping that the weather clears up a little bit, but I figured this would be a good opportunity to talk about our experience here for at least the one good day that we had. So Turks and Caicos, the reason it kind of came up is because one, we try to travel wherever we can on points to cut down on costs, and this was an easy connection for us coming from Tampa on Southwest. We had to connect once through Fort Lauderdale, and then we were here, and the total flight time was about 5 hours, which is perfect for us. This place also gave us free breakfast, and given the notoriety of how expensive places like Turks and Caicos are, having one free meal was super important to us. We've done this before around the world. We brought a big suitcase full of snacks, protein bars, things like that. That tides us over, and then we eat one meal out. So we basically just pay for dinner every day, and we were torn on whether we should rent a car. So that was our first kind of big decision about expenses. We decided to go for it because, for example, the excursion that we took, we had to drive to the port, although it was 10 minutes away. And taxi rides here seem to be about $18 per person, and they're shared, and that's one way. And then obviously back after our excursion, so we're already looking at like $150. So it wasn't that much farther off, and it did give us flexibility. For example, last night we did go and get kebabs, which were the cheapest thing that I've seen on the island. They were $14 each, and they were delicious. Turks kebab would highly recommend. Just some random facts for you. They use miles per hour. It's gallons. It is a British West Indies territory. They use the US dollar, so there's no other currency. There's no visa if you're a US citizen, so it's super easy to get in and out. They do offer fast track at the airport, which when you buy your ticket, they basically combine a taxi service with kind of like a personal attendant who greets you as you go through Customs and Border Protection. Some people say it's extremely worth it. Some people say it's not a big deal. At the time we arrived, I think we got in about 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. We were the only flight that was there. So we got through security or Customs and Border super quickly. We didn't really need to pay for it. We did see people that did, but it is basically like an extra $70 per person to go through customs, which didn't really seem necessary. So more than anything, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry this is such a short vlog. Due to the weather, we don't really have a lot else to show you, but thank you so much for watching. This isn't the last of our travel vlogs, so if that's why you signed up for us in the first place, thank you again for being a loyal follower, and we will get more of this content out to you guys soon, I promise.